Okay, it's been a journey to get here today. Um, yeah, I'm not in a good mood. What a great way to start a video. Yay, watch this video, I'm not in a good mood. No, I'm trying to approach these videos as authentically as I can and just show up in the energy that I'm in that moment. Um, yeah, it's been rough to get here today. It's 35 degrees here in London. I'm in like the London area in England, and that's hot for us. Like, I know that there are other places in the world where that's not particularly hot. 35 degrees Celsius for anybody who needs that information. I know that's not particularly hot for most people, but we really feel it here in England. It doesn't feel very comfortable. And I spent a lot of my time, there's a little fairy thing. I spent a lot of my time in my van today during like the peak um, of the UV, like the peak UV when it's okay. If you watched my video yesterday, someone walked past me and I completely stopped. And today I was very self-conscious, but I didn't stop. But I'm sure you can see that I wasn't focused. But it's an improvement on yesterday, so I'm taking that. That's a win. I feel good. um, yeah, so it's pretty hot. The UV was like at 7 or something, and I tend not to really wear like sunscreen. I don't really like using sort of man-made stuff on myself if I can help it. So what I would rather do is like stay out of the sun unless the UV index is like 2 or 3. So I've waited until about 4:30 today when the UV index came down to 2, so it was safe for me to come outside. And I'm in this spot, this like really pretty spot. It's mostly open. Wait, there's no one around. I wonder if I can show you. So it's like mostly open with very, very little coverage, like tree coverage and shade and stuff. Let's see. I can't see if I'm framed again. There we go. But there is this river, like the river behind me, and it goes like all the way along the side of this place. And so I like to come down here, and then I bring Faye, who you can probably see in the background. Is she down here somewhere? Where is she? Down here somewhere. So she can come and splash in the river. I can come and splash in the river and keep cool. And there's a really nice spot under a tree, which is where I filmed yesterday. It's perfect because it's like right by the water. It's really away from people, but it's under a tree, so it's got nice shade. And when I arrived there today, there were cows in the path because there's cows here, and they don't want to move. They don't want to move. And there were people in my spot under the tree, so I was like, fine. Like I was also, by the way, not in a good mood when I came out here today because I'm in my like the last half of my luteal phase, so my energy is just like hit the deck. My oversensitivity is like peak, and yeah, just not feeling good at all. So I really just wanted something that felt good to my nervous system. I really just wanted my spot, quiet, a nice place to sit and record, paddle my feet in the water, and yeah, didn't get that. Then I found a spot which is like next to the river, but it's on the path, so it's like quite a lot of traffic, although there wasn't that much traffic today. But when I got there, there was an alarm going off, and I was so overstimulated, and I just cried. Yeah. And there's a dog coming that I think is going to annoy my dog, so I'm going to pause and come back in a second. Okay, he's going backwards and forwards. He's going to come past at some point. This is why I don't like being around people, because they're so unpredictable, and when I'm in a state of overstimulation myself, being around people who are unpredictable is really, really, really stressful to my nervous system. So if anybody else who feels that way, you are not alone. I see you, and it sucks. It sucks because so many people, especially in London, they love being around people. They love being just like surrounded by people. If they're parking, they'll park right next to someone. You know, if they're walking, they'll walk like shoulder to shoulder with you. And I don't like that. I'm an introvert. I don't really like people touching me. I don't really like people being in close proximity to me, especially when I'm in a very overstimulated state. So yeah, it's one reason why I don't like London. There are a lot of reasons why I do, but that's one of the reasons why I don't. So going back to my story. Yeah, I found this spot. There was an alarm going off, and I just sat there and I cried. Thankfully, there was no one walking past, so I could just cry in peace because, you know, I want to cry in peace. um, and there's someone coming. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I think they left. This isn't going to plan. I feel like that's the point of this video. When I hit record, I thought that was going to be the point. So yeah, I cried. I let it out, and I needed that cry because, like I said, I wasn't feeling good beforehand, and I think just having that cry was actually really nourishing. You know, sometimes you just need a cry, like, and it's fine. It's good to cry. I am not against crying. I find it hard to cry sometimes. Sometimes I don't know I need a cry, and then I have one, and I'm like, oh, I needed to cry. So yeah, that was one of these moments today. And then I was like, oh, the alarm stopped. I lay down. I was like, okay, nice. And then almost instantly, like, another one started, and I was like, oh my god. And then I started laughing because, like, my cry was gone, and I was like, this is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. Yeah, and I sat there for ages, just, I don't know, contemplating life and like, what am I doing? Like, this isn't where I want to be. This isn't what I want to be doing. This isn't how I imagined this. This isn't what I expected. It's not what I needed. You know. And then the cows came and pushed me out of my spot. So yeah, and then I carried on walking for a bit, and I found myself here. This is where I usually like to come and paddle in the water anyway. And there was people all along here, but I was like, right, I need to just get my feet in the water because water really heals me. I really feel healed whenever I'm around water, especially moving water. And this isn't a fast moving river, but it is a moving river. So yeah, I always feel really healed by moving water. I'm a Sagittarius in tropical astrology. So I have like a lot of fire in me, and I find that water is very soothing to me, especially when that fire becomes too intense. Like my fire normally, I love my fire, but sometimes it can be so intense that it's hard to contain, like hard to hold, hard to contain. And water just kind of really nourishes a lot of that. So yeah, I thought I'd have a dip. And then all the people that were here left, and I was like, okay. So I had this spot, and I was like, it's quiet enough that I can film. I know there's a few people walking by, but I knew there would be because I'm on a path. Yeah, and here we are. And like I said, I feel like, yeah, the moral of this tale, the moral of this tale is, like, things aren't always going to go to plan. And you just kind of have to learn to, what would the word be, manage that. Because there's nothing you can do about it. You know, I think a lot of people, I don't know if I'm necessarily talking about myself, maybe in the past, really try to control everything. Really need everything done in a certain way, in a certain place. I mean, I have been like that before. I do really think I'm diagnosed ADHD, and I do actually really think I have a lot of autistic tendencies as well. I really need things exactly as they need to be, otherwise it really stresses me out. Like it like really, really stresses me out. I mean, not just like, oh, that's a bit annoying. So yeah, that probably was me needing to control everything and have everything in a certain way. And as I've moved through my journey of life, you know, I've come. Oh no! Faye's put a stick on my handmade bag. Let's move my bag out of the way so she doesn't think it's cream, because, you know, bringing a cream bag out with a dog who likes to go in water and find sticks, that was a good idea. Anyway, yeah, you can't control everything. I've tried to do that in the past, and then when things go wrong, it's like the end of the world, right? Because my nervous system takes a long time to regulate and to catch up. This is very common for like neurodivergent people, so I'm not saying there's something wrong with that at all. It's just the way it is. It's the way I am, and I know that my system is different from normal people. When I'd say normal, like who's normal, but non-neurodivergent people, not highly sensitive people. I'm a highly sensitive person as well. So yeah, these things can have a really, really big impact on me. And my nervous system takes a long time to regulate itself, or for me to regulate it, and to just come back to equilibrium, I guess, after something went wrong. And over this journey of my life, I have just learned how to accept things more, and I'm not saying that I'm perfect at it. Like today, there was not a perfect example of how to handle this situation at all, but it's significantly better than I used to be. I did come out with a bit of an expectation of what I wanted, but I also sort of knew that my spot might be taken. I knew that it might be busy. I kind of hoped it wasn't, and that's like where the pain point came in. It's like, I hope it's not, but I didn't actually leave the possibility open, really. Like, I kind of knew in the back of my mind, but I didn't go in with that open expectation. I went in with a bit of a closed expectation because it's like what I needed, and when that expectation wasn't met, that's where the pain came in. I've heard this before, I can't remember where, but the idea that pain and suffering, actually the main source of pain and suffering is expectation, and usually when that expectation isn't met. And a lot of the time when we put an expectation on something, it can't be met, like at least not fully, at least not exactly how we want it or expect it. So I have learnt over these years to manage my expectations, and it's more about going into things with an open mind, going into things with as little expectations as I can. There can be like a goal or an intention or a focus. Intention is something that I really like because there can be an intention moving in, but an expectation of, like, there's an intention of the energy that you're putting into something rather than the expectation of what you're going to get out of it, right? And I think that's the difference. So I've really tried to manage the idea of the expectation of what I'm going to get out of something. But yeah, you just have to kind of like, there's an acceptance as well. Interestingly enough, I do a card. I pull a card on my Instagram broadcast channel every day, just a oracle card. And today's was acceptance, which all happened before all of this. So it's interesting. That's the one that came up. Yeah, there's an acceptance that needs to happen, but like an acceptance moment to moment, just as I'm talking about the idea of authenticity moment to moment. That's the idea that I'm really kind of running with a lot these days. There's an acceptance too, there's showing up authentically and listening to what's happening inside you and what's happening outside of you in that moment, and accepting that, right? I had to accept when I picked my second spot and it wasn't what I wanted and there was an alarm going on. I had to accept that this was my option. I could have left, right? That was what I was thinking about. I could have got up and left, but I came out with Faye, and if I go back, like if I had gone back, I wouldn't come out with her again. So I kind of stayed more for her than for myself. And actually, even though it really hasn't been perfect, it has gotten better since that point where I was crying. So I'm glad I stayed out, for Faye and for myself. And yeah, so there's like an acceptance, and when you then accept, you can work with the options that you have in front of you, right? Stop. Okay, and it just happened again. Somebody just walked past with a dog and let them, the person didn't even care, just let the dog come and put its muddy paws all over my blanket. Like acceptance, right? I've picked a spot that's busy, not because it's what I wanted, but because it's one of the only options I had. The other option for filming this is that I could have gone back to my van and filmed it, but it's not very comfortable. It's not very freeing to film in my van at the moment anyway. So yeah, you have choices. There's something I've been saying to my partner a lot recently, or just I've been living by, but I say it to him a lot, is like pros and cons. Everything has pros and cons. Everything is a choice, and I don't think that there is a wrong choice. I don't think there's such thing as a wrong choice. If you have two choices, there is going to be an outcome to each of those choices. One choice is going to give you one outcome, the other choice is going to give you a different outcome. It doesn't mean that either of those are wrong. I think that I'm going to go controversial here. I think that the idea of right and wrong is an extremely organized religious perspective and point of view. Say that something is right or wrong. I don't think that things are that binary. I don't think that nature is like that. There are plenty of circumstances in nature where there's something we would consider wrong and it just happens in nature, and we forget that we're a part of nature. I went on a complete tangent there. Right and wrong. Oh yeah, right and wrong decisions. So I think the idea of like right and wrong is a very religious, organized religion perspective, and it's not something that I listen to. I don't know how to word that. It's not something I prescribe to. I just think that there are options. There is light and there is dark, and when it comes to choices, we just have to pick one. Oh my god, this video is insane. My mic has been off this whole time. I have no idea if you've heard anything. It's been so windy, and there's been people everywhere, and I've been reasonably far away from the camera. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, this whole video has been like this. Acceptance. I mean, it is what it is. The whole point of these videos for me has been to be as authentic as I possibly can. And I messed up. And in all of the craziness that's happened, in the sort of heavy emotions that I've been feeling, I didn't check my microphone. And it is what it is. And I'm going to put this up. I'm going to put this video up regardless. Because that's the point of what I'm doing, is just expressing, like capturing that moment of expression that I'm going through, and then putting it out there. And like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not. There's an idea of like my art. My job isn't to make you like my art. My job is to make my art, right? So I can't control whether you're going to enjoy this. I can't control whether you're going to have watched 2 minutes of this video, maybe a minute of this video, the audio be absolutely awful, and then you go, yeah, I'm not watching this. I can't control that. All I can do is just put it out there. I think I might have had enough for one day. I don't know if I can manage anymore. I mean, I can. I'm just like, I'm laughing about it now, but this video has been a complete mess, hasn't it? If you got to the end, you're amazing. There are some kids about to walk past. I think I'm going to leave it. If you even remotely enjoyed this, please subscribe, please like, and I will see you next time. Bye.